Welcome to Live Feed on Spotify. Live Feed on Spotify is brought to you by thebullyexposed.com. Please go to their channel and donate. Thank you. Today I'm going to talk about a documentary film that I saw called Con Mum, M-U-M. So that should give it away that it's an English documentary because Americans don't say mum, we say mom, right? For those that don't know. This is a very interesting documentary, and I'm going to give a disclaimer that, hey, I might spill some of the beans. So maybe you should pause this, go watch the documentary, and then come back and see me. But you have been warned. Also, my commentary on this channel is for entertainment purposes only. I'm not a lawyer, nor am I a therapist in any way. All right, so let's begin. So basically, I don't want to give too much away, right? But basically, Con Mom is about a con, right? About a scam that someone played on someone. There was a guy who's doing very well, and he never met his mom, never saw his mom. And the claim was that his mom was taken away from him when he was a little boy. That's the claim. So the mom comes back into the person's life to rekindle their life together because she's dying of cancer. She's allegedly dying of cancer, I should say. And in that process of rekindling their mother-son relationship, she takes large sums of money away from him over, I think it was a 3 years or 2 years. That was not made very clear to me, or if it was in the film, I missed that part. But over a certain amount of years, she extracts money from him. Now that's all I'm going to say about the film, because I don't want to give it away for people who want to see it. What I really want to talk about is the part that allows people to be taken like this, to be scammed in this matter. You know, in this case, the guy was so adamant to see and spend time with his mom, which is understandable, that he ignored all the red flags. So, you know, I'm not shaming him in any way. I think anybody in his position would have been taken by this, right? Well, what I want to say is this: when you meet people and all they want to do is borrow money from you, that is a red flag. Now, I understand that these I don't have a good word for this, I'm sorry, but these people requesting these monies are set in a bad light. You know, there's one guy who was extracting money from women because he would tell them that he got into an accident, and he would use photos from a very bad accident that he got into years ago as a way to continue to scam women. Now he would send them these photos. He would tell them, you know, now I'm in this position, I have no money, can you send me $3,000, $2,000? I'm gonna pay you back, I'm just in a problem right now. This particular lady, the con mom, she would do the same thing. She would say, it was during COVID, so she would say, because of COVID, I'm unable to gather the funds. Can you please pay? You know, and one more thing, you know, I'm going to have to give the film away. There's no other thing. There's one more thing I want to say. She would tell them, okay, I'm your son. We're rekindling. Let's go and have a great vacation. All right, or let's go and do something in another country together, right? And then she would stay in these expensive hotels. If that's not you, don't let someone change you. Because to me, that's not me. Okay, when I go on vacation all the time, I'm going to be honest, it's not a brag. It's just, but me and my wife, we do it. Don't get me wrong, we don't stay in roach motels, but we don't stay in 5-star hotels where it's like $3,000 a night to stay in there. No, we find the best hotel for the money, and that's where we stay. We do in what we call an economy trip. You don't have to spend thousands and thousands of dollars. I mean, to me, you're visiting a city, you're going to be walking around the city. Why spend $3,000 or $1,000 a night at a place when you're not going to be in it? You're going to be out. You're going to be there just to sleep. I think it's ridiculous. That's me. But so I guess I'm going to have to tell you the con of the con mom, because it's important to be able to tell you how to protect yourself. So after she met her son, she said, "Okay, we're gonna." Well, she scammed. I'm not gonna tell you everything. Leave it for you to watch, because I think people should watch it. But she would basically say, let's go on trips, and she would go to these expensive hotels. That's your red flag right there, people. You meet, let's just say you meet a guy online, okay? And this is one thing I want to say. You meet a guy online, and you're talking to him for a year, 2 years online, then you finally met him, you don't know him, okay? Just because you've talked on the phone, or you've talked on, even if you talked on video chat, or if it's just text messages, just because you meet the person doesn't mean you know them. I think that's the problem with a lot of people. They're talking for 2 years with a person online, and then they meet them and they think, oh, I know this person. Then the person takes them to a very expensive restaurant. First of all, I'm going to tell everyone, this goes for mostly for ladies, but this goes for men too. If you go on a date with a person, doesn't matter how you met them, internet, doesn't matter how you met them, they work with you, doesn't matter. You met them and they're telling you, I want to go to ABC restaurant, and ABC restaurant is like a $3,000 a plate restaurant. Say no. We'll save that for our anniversary after we've been together a year, if we make it that long. That's what you tell the person. But don't go to expensive restaurants with people you just met. Because if they're out to scam you, because let me tell you what they do. Listen up. If you're standing up, sit down and turn off. If you're listening to the radio, turn off the radio and listen up now, because you're going to learn. What people do is, and this has been going on for a long time, but now it's really being amplified, because people meet on the internet and they think because they talk to somebody for a year, they know this person. You don't know the person, okay? You can be with a person physically for 10 years and not know them, then see their true colors. So understand that. And so what they're doing is okay, let's go on our first date. And they're doing what is called love bombing. They're love bombing. They're trying to throw affection and gifts on you so that you think, oh wow, this person really loves me. Gifts does not mean that someone loves you. Let me tell you what means that someone loves you. When you act like an idiot and they're able to tell you you're acting like an idiot, that's a person that loves you. But what happens is we don't pay attention to people like that tell us you're doing this wrong. Just the other day, I was trying to tell a friend that Republicans and Democrats are evil, and they're the same people, and they're trying to tell me that they're not. And I'm trying to tell them that they are, and I'm showing them examples, and they're ignoring my examples. They have no tangible proof of it. And then at the end of the day, they said that I hurt their feelings. I hurt your feelings. But you don't think you're hurting my feelings as a person that looks the way I do in America? That you're trying to make excuses? I digress. So what people do is they try to love bomb you, and they throw gifts on you, and they tell, I'm going to take you to the best expensive restaurant. That's not love. I'm going to keep saying that. That's not love. I'm going to shower you with expensive gifts when I just met you. That's not love, okay? I'm going to keep saying it. So they shower you with all this love bombing. They take you to these expensive restaurants, and depending on how bold they are, some will pay for the first 3 times they will pay for the restaurant. Because how are they paying you? They scam someone else before you, okay? They scam someone else before you, and they're using that money that they scam someone else to pay you so that they can scam you. Open your eyes. So let's just say this guy or girl is bold. So you go on your first date with this person. You rack up a bill of, let's just say, $1,000. So obviously you went to a $1,000 a plate restaurant, and you, with drinks and all, your bill came out to $3,000. Then they go, I forgot my wallet, or they give the person the credit card to pay, and the credit card comes back to them. And if they're really elaborate, they get on a phone call with their friend who's a credit card agent. And what do you mean there's a problem with my credit card? There shouldn't be a problem with my credit card. I did this. Well, sorry, sir. And they do that in front of you, right? No, nobody, think about this. If this is real, nobody's gonna have that conversation in front of you. That's a private moment. That's an embarrassing moment. No one with good intentions will do that. But they have these meetings in front of you, these phone calls. And then they go, I'm so sorry. Can you please pay this bill? And next, you heard the person on the phone. This can be cleared up in 48 hours, 72 hours. In 72 hours, I will have your money back to you. So you go and you pay. Then the person calls, I really had a good time. I'm really liking you. They're doing all this love bombing to you, this, that, and the other thing. Let's go on another date. And you go, sure, thinking that, okay, in 72 hours or in 2 weeks, I'm going to have my money. One lady was even told, I don't know how old the guy was, but he said when he hits 60, he's supposed to get some money from a settlement when he hits 60, and the woman waited. They thank God that the minute he hit 60, she said, give me, okay, 60, when can I expect my money? And that's when she left him on his birthday, because she's like, I know there's no money coming. She figured it out, but it's too late. You gotta understand this. So what I'm trying to say, okay, so when you meet a person and they tell you, we're gonna go to ABC restaurant, it's $1,000 a plate, or it's even $50 a plate. And to you, that's not, you can't get sucked in to oh my God, I'm going to finally get to go to such and such restaurant. I always wanted to go there. Can't get sucked in by that. You have to say, no, you know what? No, I understand that a person doesn't want to go to McDonald's on a date. That's not what I'm telling you. I'm not telling you to go to Applebee's. All right. Some of you that don't live in America may not know what an Applebee's is. I'm not telling you that. Okay. I'm telling you that you don't want to go to the $3,000 a plate restaurant. That's not where you want to go, because if you end up getting sucked in this bill, you're going to put yourself in a financial situation, and maybe it won't put you. Maybe you could afford a $3,000 lunch meal, but you don't want to put yourself in that situation. And if you made the mistake and you put yourself in that situation, or even if you go to a $25 a plate restaurant, these guys know that they're not going to pay. So they're ordering drink after drink after drink. They're ordering, there's even people, I'll tell you a small scam that some people do. There's some people that go out with a bunch of friends and they order drink after drink after drink, the most expensive meal they order 2 meals, they order 2 desserts, and they run up the bill, their bill to be $100 maybe, right? Even in a $15 plate restaurant. Because then what they do is they say, oh, let's all chip in, the money together. So the bill, let's just say the bill comes out to $1,000 because you got a bunch of people, right? And they'll say, okay, let's split that, and you have, 11 people with you. Let's split that between 11 people. Some people are like, oh yeah, good idea. No, whoa. You had 2 entrees, 2 desserts, 5, expensive $20 cocktails, and now you want to put the bill so we all pay. No, your share comes out to this. And the reason why people don't speak to that is because it makes them look cheap, right? It's not, societally correct. If one person makes a suggestion like that, just go with it. No, don't go with it. Don't you understand the scam? This is the scam. Every time I go out with friends, I don't do that. Sorry, you want to call me cheap, you call me cheap. But I'm not going to be put into a scam. You have to understand, scams are not just this big thing like this lady did on this documentary for Netflix. Scams come in all different sizes. Some people don't have the brains, the capacity to extract $100,000 from people at a pop, okay, which is what she did. Some people don't have that capability. Some people are not like Madoff. If you don't know who Madoff is, look it up. Okay, some people are not like that, but some people are able by other means. I had a friend once turn around and tell me, oh, hey, I'm gonna tell you exactly what I did. Hey, I don't have the money, or my credit card's not working, whatever excuse they have, can you get me this shirt? And it's just a $20 shirt. Okay, yeah, sure. No problem. So I get them the shirt, and it's like, when are you gonna pay me? Oh, this time you're gonna pay me? Okay, great. They never pay back. So it's like, hey, you owe me this money. I took the shirt. I guess this is my shirt. We were both the same size. This is my shirt now. And that's the way it has to be. And then you never lend that person money again. See, I'm sorry that I'm all over the place, because it's like, it really aggravates me that people cannot see shit that's right in front of their face, because we have too much of that, especially with the Republican Party and Trump and doing everything that he's doing. You can't see right in front of your face. So let me go back to my scenario, and I apologize. So you go out on a date with this guy, the bill is $3,000. He says to you, he calls the bank right in front of you. What's the problem with my account? Oh, I don't know. You have a small problem. It could be fixed in 72 hours. Okay, well, you heard that. I apologize. This is not how I wanted our first date to go. But can you please just pay this? Then, because they're love bombing you, they're calling you the next day. Oh, I apologize. I want to make it up to you. On the last date that we have. Let's go again. No, people, what you're supposed to say is, when you pay me back, then I'll go on the next date with you. Which should really be, I'm never going on a date with you. You're just telling them that so you can get your money back. But you shouldn't be on a date with someone like that. Sorry. Because reality is this. I feel, and I could be wrong, okay? That's why I say this is for entertainment. But I feel that if this truly happened to a person that you're on a date with, they are not going to call you the next day and ask you to let me make it up to you. Or they're not going to call you they're really not going to call you for another date until they have your money. Here's the money. I apologize. Let me take you out again, and we'll do this right. And then, even if you're in that situation, when he turns around and says, let's go back to the same restaurant, no, we're going to go to this restaurant, which is, like the restaurant he took you to is here, this is here, Applebee's is here, McDonald's is down here. So it's just a little bit above that. That way, that has good food, of course, some go to a restaurant that has terrible food, something that has good food. To me, I would get something that's either a mom and pop joint or something that might have 2 or 3 other restaurants, but I wouldn't go to a franchise. It's a franchised restaurant. Sorry about that. Oh, my tongue, new mouth, That's my thing to you guys. Don't get suckers up and understand that even though you might have been talking to someone for a year on the internet or on the phone, you don't know them. I would say you don't really know a person until 10, 20 years after. because I have seen some people that I've known for a very long time turn around and just flip. So, and you never really know. You could have a person that's a really good person, and then something happens to them, like maybe a divorce, or maybe something very tragic, like an accident that has probably placed them in a wheelchair, and that person changes because they're so upset with the world, and they should seek help. That they're taking it out on everyone. Oh, I'm gonna steal from this guy. I'm gonna steal from, or maybe they've been scammed. This happens a lot too. So now it's like, wow, I'm gonna scam. I'm gonna be a scammer then, because it's the same thing. Like some of you may know, I deal a lot with children and adults who have been bullied, and that's the number one thing that really happens a lot. You have a kid or an adult, both of them do it, who were bullied at their last job or at their last school. They go into a new job or a new school, and they think to themselves, well, if I become the bully, then no one can bully me. And the sad part is that it works. We don't confront bullies for some reason. We confront the people they bully, and we victimize twice the people that they bully, but we never help the one that's like, what is your problem? Understand that. You don't know a person, especially if you're talking to on the internet, and be careful talking to people on the internet. Don't, it's been brought to my attention that a lot of people, they'll meet a person on the internet, the person would say, oh, come to my house and I'll cook for you. You don't know this person. And then when they get there, there's multiple people there, and they either rape the person or they rob the person, because they have multiple groups of people there, and it's just you versus all these people, and next thing you know, you get robbed. Be smart. If you want to meet on the internet, I suggest you don't meet on the internet anymore. I believe that the internet has now become a place for predators. So don't meet on the internet anymore. If you're single, so what? Learn to be happy with yourself, so don't meet. But if you have to, absolutely positively, meet people on the internet, meet in a public place. Don't go into their cars. Don't go into isolated areas, because if they're out to just rob you or take something from you, right? You know what I'm talking about. They're not going to do it where there's a group of people. They're going to try to pull you away. And that's what a lot of these people do. They say, oh, no, I prefer to meet in public. Okay, great. And then they're love bombing you again with all this thing, and you learn to trust them. And then, boom, you go to their home or you go in their car, and that's where the robbery or whatever is taken from you. Be smart. Be smart. Okay? That's what I want to tell you. Now I want you to share this with someone that needs to hear this. I would like you to please subscribe to our channel on Spotify and on YouTube at Nonfiction Filmmaker. Like, comment, let me know what your thoughts are, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye now.